Growing Up in Port Glasgow by Irene. I was born at 14 Gown Street, Port Glasgow. I can remember there was a lot of shops in the area at that time. A co-op, a newsagent, a butcher, a barber, a small grocer, a draper shop and an Italian cafe. Two public houses and the Glen Mill. Up the Glen Burn there was a chip shop where everybody went for their fish and chips. They were delicious. On a Friday night my brother and I would meet my dad and my grandpa coming home from the shipyard, and they took us to the cafe for our weekly treat, which was a bar of chocolate of our choice. And on Friday night we got a portion of chips and my parents got a fish supper between them. We spent our summers playing down the Davy shore. We lived in a single end that was just one room where you slept, cooked and washed. The tin bath came out every Friday night and we had our weekly bath. When I had a baby sister, my brother moved across the street to stay with my granda because we were overcrowded. We were finally allocated a new house at Kelburn Terrace. We were delighted as it had 2 bedrooms, a bathroom and a kitchen. We then went to Clune School. I enjoyed my life at Kelburn as it was next to the shore, and we used to have picnics out Park Lea with a bottle of water and bread and jam if you were lucky. You were warned not to come home till tea time. We played a lot of street games then, such as rounders and pavers, which was a game of beds drawn on the street. We also played kick the can and the boys played football. I can remember during the war we would hear the sirens when the German planes came. We had to get up from our bed and go to the air raid shelter with our gas masks round our neck. The air raid shelter was in the centre of the street. There were 6 of them, and each one shared with 3 families. We were glad to hear the all clear so then we could get back to our bed as we had school the next morning. We lived beside the railway and we used to wait for the Americans going by, and they would throw out chocolate and chewing gum. The day the war ended in 1945 there was a lot of street parties. Everyone was so happy and all the servicemen came home to their families. My dad came home from the army. By this time I went to high home school and there were 6 of us in the family. My mum did not keep well and I got an exemption from school to help in the house. I was only 13. I never got out to play as much as the other children as I always had housework to do. I went to work at Arnjai Templeton's grocery store in Princess Street, Port Glasgow. There was a lot of shops in the area at that time and there was plenty of work. I stayed at Templeton's for about a year and then I went to work in the Gourock rope work as the wages were better. I stayed at the rope work till I was 19. Then I got a job as a conductress on the Glasgow buses. The wages were even better there. It was shift work on the buses, so you didn't have much of a social life, especially if you were on the late shift. We used to take the bus down to Cragburn on a Friday night for the dancing. We always had a good time. We never thought about drinking. All we had was lemonade and crisps, and we never even heard about drugs. Our parents were very strict with us. If you stayed out a minute longer than you were supposed to, you were kept in for a week. I married when I was 21. I met my husband when I was a conductress. He came from Bishopton. We had 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. My husband worked at India Tyre Factory in Shannon. We just had the one wage coming in, so we didn't have a lot of money. And having such a large family, we did not have money for luxury holidays. Instead, we went camping every year to Luss in Loch Lomond, always at the Glasgow Fair, as that was when my husband got his holidays. We always had a great time. Now the family have all left home. My husband died 5 years ago. I am now on my own. I started going to the over 50 aerobic classes at the Port Glasgow Baths. I have made a lot of friends there. We go on a lot of days out and take holidays. I have a full life now. There are not enough days in the week.